Morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's another morning to wake up to. It's around midnight again, close to 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 12:54 a.m. in the morning. It's February 5th, 2025 for Wednesday. The Weaver, Tennessee, Roseman, California. You're zombie out here. Rrrr. Okay, enough of that shit. I've been trying the live feeds. They're not working as well, so I said fuck it, do the videos. Yesterday, actually, several hours ago, at the meeting with Netanyahu and Trump, this had to been going through the White House on this one. Someone had the dumbass idea. It had to have been someone dumber than Trump to make up this idea. I can't even make it up. But it was already been proposed out there. It had to have come from Netanyahu in this shit. Turning the Gaza Strip into a U.S. territory of sorts. Oh, yeah, we're going to clear him out. We're going to build over. We're going to build. It'll be wonderful. It'll be magical. I'm thinking, you son of a bitch. You motherfucker. You're going to kick out those Palestinian people just for your own ego? Just for your own money-making stupidity? Was this also Netanyahu's idea? Genocide? Using the Hamas as an excuse to do genocide on the people. Just for the protection of their own state and nation and protection of the Israelis. We must crush them. You think that's going to be safe in the Middle East? Holy crap, did he know what a damn powder keg is? The Middle East had never been a quiet, stable area to raise families. They've had dynamics happening long ago, and they can never find peace because of their own ideas, ideologies, their own histories, their own cultures, constantly butting heads. Mostly for oil. They're starting to get nuclear power in the area, slowly but surely. Israelis have their own little fleet. They already have their own air force. They already have their ground. And they're trying to protect their own little patch of land granted to them last century by the United Nations. And it was already a torn up area anyway. Land of Palestine. When you have U.S. officials, when you have the dumbass elected representatives and senators who think it should go back to the ancient times and ancient language for the land because it should in their dumbass view. I'm thinking of them, you guys are crazy. You want something out of this whole area. You want commercial real estate? Get out of politics and start developing your own damn shit. They're going to be crafting laws of forcing another sovereign territory to be part of the United States. It's bad enough they said it about Canada, and look how Canada is laughing at us. They slapped us silly with a tariff. We thought a tariff was going to work. No, Trump thought the tariff was going to work. Big brash man. And Trudeau just went, here's a tariff for you. Have some more tariffs. Mexico did the same damn shit. Trudeau's like, I'm sorry. But do a tariff on somebody else. We'll do a tariff on China. Tariff. And China's like, don't call us, we'll call you. Here's some tariffs, enjoy them. You can't do that to the United States and Donald Trump. I'm sorry, who the hell are you again? Talk to the hand. Xi Jinping was supposed to be contacting Trump. Paying you just want this. Don't call us. We may never call you back. Fuck you. He did that to the United States. Meanwhile, outside, Trump, his pet project called Musk, was trying to get access more and more information and more satisfy his ego. Let his goons into our system. That caused a hell of a lot of people to say no. No. Well, we're from Doge. We're going to get government accountability and efficiency. Fuck you. Leave our shit alone. No, you can't say that. I'm Doge. I'm Elon Musk. Well, guess what, South African? Go back home to your country. They should have deported his ass. They should deport his ass. Take away his naturalization and kick his ass back in South Africa. Say, keep SpaceX over there then. I'm going to shut down everything now with SpaceX. Stranger astronauts. Guess what? Somewhere, without major without, there had been talks for a couple of decades about, or more than that, of another contingency plan NASA dreamed up, and so did the space agency and military. There had been launches, just not well known. There could be another alternative to get the astronauts from the International Space Station out of there. Besides calling on Russia to get them out of there, we may have another piece of transportation to get them out of there. I hope so. If that's true and that's the case, and they've got another space plane possibly to do it. If it's good for an evacuation to get the astronauts out of the International Space Station, just let the damn thing up there and just rot. Well, we still want to get out there with space stations, and we still want to get a moon base built. Musk is trying to do this space shit going on. He keeps testing these spacecraft that look like the ugliest damn thing out of the 1930s. The Apollo had more grace and glamour in the damn thing. We had an entire nation building this ship. We had government contracts from the little guys all the way up to the bigger ones making the lunar module, not to mention the Apollo capsule. We had two major aerospace firms doing everything they can to have a president and their dream fulfilled. And it was back in 1969 in July. The space race was basically political. We wanted to beat the Russians at something. We had the Cold War. We had to beat them at something. We had to save face. And it was an expensive way of saving face. But we gained a hell of a lot out of the damn thing. My question is, what are we gaining from Starship anyway? Or from SpaceX? The private entity company? Okay, they're learning more about aeronautics. Did they also take the information that we had back from the Apollo days, from Mercury or prior to that, all the way through the space shuttle system? If there was any engineers still left to give them any knowledge of how things worked back then compared to now. Yeah, the technology has gotten a lot, I can't say better, changed. Different thruster configurations, different load. I'm not hip on aeronautics as much, or on spacecraft construction. But I can tell you that they've been testing and testing and testing. And every time they think they're getting better, they're cheering about it. Even though there's another mistake, they're still like, yay, look what we did. We blew the ship up again. The trick is not to blow the ship up. We were so pissed off Every time the ships would blow up, that we're like, okay, back to the fucking drawing board. What did we screw up this time? And we were under pressure. Government contracted pressure. And they pushed. The government pushed, and the companies pushed back, but they knew what they had to do. I'm not quite sure we have the same spirit in our current space race. And what are we racing against? Which commercial entity is going to be putting a ship on Mars or on the moon? We already had stuff landing on the moon. We already had governments landing on the moon. What we need is a base. What we need is a footstep on the moon. We already did the man on the moon thing back in 1969. You know what would have been nice in my lifetime? To actually see before I reach 100, there'll be an established moon base of sorts on the moon. Not just a ship landing on there and then taking off again. No. I'm talking about establishing construction. It'll take a decade or more, maybe. That would have been a space project worthwhile to get into. Not just depending upon commercial, but depending upon governments pulling resources to get an international base station. I can dream this. I've seen artists making this kind of discovery. We talked about it for God knows how long. Longer than my age. We put them in books, in film, models, toys, series, stuff of what the future could be. A friend of mine and I had an argument last night. Well, yeah, we did have an argument over the damn thing. His dream was fine. We got the technology for it right now. We have body sensors out there that can detect if there's a heat source on you. We have big bulky machines that can be fit into a metal detector to see if you're emanating heat somehow. We have infrared technology been out there for decades. We can see a large swath or individual items that actually have heat sources and emanations. We use them for military. We use them for law enforcement. We use them for rescue. We have individual body sensors that can find out whether or not if you're running a fever or not. There are $20 gizmos from Amazon that you can look at yourself or just wave a machine on you. A body temperature reading gun, see whether or not you're running a temperature somewhere. We have scanners that you can walk up to. They'll take either a long or short-term snapshot of you and see what your aura or what your body temperature in certain areas is going to be. We can put them in hand scanners like that. I've seen the technology. I've looked at a few companies that actually have that. It's wonderful. And the problem is, I kept telling them, yeah, well, it would be nice if we can go around in this direction over here. I understand, I understand it completely. I'm a futurist. I like it. However, I'm a realist. Money. Well, yeah, we'll get grants. We'll get grants through the government. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. You're not opening up that damn Pandora's box. And one thing I should have been talking to my friend about is how to get the grants going. And they got courses online to teach them about the grant process. You can do it through corporations or you can do it through the government. If you're going to be doing it through government, good luck on that one. In the current political atmosphere that we have, that is a nightmare to deal with. Especially when you have other greedy bastards who want to take control of the government for their own damn ego. For the good of the country. It's for the good of filling the fucking blanks on that shit. I need to know about your personal history. You're going to be mine. It's for the good of the country. No, it isn't. It's good for your fucking ego. It's always been good for the fucking ego. Control, power. We must have more power. Oh, Lord, it just scared the fuck out of me. I can understand where my friend wants to go to. It's getting there as the mechanics he's not getting. I make an argument with my friend on this one. It's dealing with the current government. It's dealing with entities out there that you still have to go through in order to get this wonderful project working. And it's not that easy. But he's a dreamer. He wants to try it, but he's not engineering enough. You can see some of the practical applications, however. Okay, say for example, you want a project to give maybe a hand scanner. Well, they cost, don't they? Depends on what kind of scanner that you want for your emergency rescue. If it's just reading body temperature away from a person, yeah, they get the smaller items. They can bet $20 or $30 off online for that shit. You can go into a Walgreens, or if they still have them around, actually. Try to purchase them that way or purchase them offline. You know, Amazon or other products. $20 to $30, I can order myself an item that I can see whether or not if I'm actually running a temperature or not. But to get an aura scanner of sorts to see where the hot spot is on a person. If you had an injury and you go to that injury, you know there's going to be a hot spot on that injury because the body's trying to do everything else it can to stabilize that area. Hell, if I had this damn thing back in the early 70s, that would have been reading something about my elbow over here. Of course, seeing the bones protruding out of the skin is not fun. And very ugly looking, too. But they would have noticed that there would have been cold extremities, cold spots on my body, and then everything focused on here. This would have been the major hot spot right here. We didn't have the technology at that time. Now we do. Get an aura scanner or a thermal imager and look at what's going on. I don't know. Could we afford it in our paramedics and the fire trucks? Would it be a cost? Would it be a study to use or do? And of course, where's the money coming from to afford it? It's coming out of your pocket or my pocket, or both. Taxpayers' pocket, or is it going to be a government grant, or is it going to be a company grant? Maybe a company wants to test its product, but they want to see a profit margin. I kept trying to tell my friend about that one. Look, you're going to be dealing with a company who wants to sponsor it. They want to see the payback. You're going to deal with the government. They want to see payback. Anytime you happen to deal with anybody else who's going to be doing a grant, it's a loan. It's not a grant. They want to see the profit margin. They want to see the payback in this damn thing. Oh, it's going to save lives. We'll just get one. For how many? Is there just one that you're going to be doing your studies? Then you've got to pull the resources temporarily from other sources to get this thing working here. And we went over the processes. We went over things that he still hadn't learned about. I just came up with one particular website that's going to be teaching about, that had been teaching about, and it still is, government grants. It's grants.gov. It's how to get to the grant program. Start up with your idea. Make the proposals. Get the information necessary to do this kind of shit. But it goes worse than that. And I was trying to explain to my friend that you need to have an engineer. That was the thing that hit me after our conversations. He doesn't have an engineer. He's got the dream of it, but he doesn't know the mechanics. The actual mechanics. Well, they got it out there. They got it out there. They got it out there. Yes, I know that, Paul. I know that, my friend. But you don't know the damn mechanics. But they got the technology. Yes, they got the technology out there. But you have to have somebody with the mechanical knowledge to understand how this works. And once you have that item, once you have that prototype developed with all the material that you have still readily available, then comes the fun part. If you still want to get funding from someone, you got to write the damn paperwork. You got to. I was trying to explain it to him one way or another that this is important. His item would be needed and probably would be a hell of a lot safer. If they have it out there in the fields, cool. I haven't heard anything about it. I need to do some deep research on this one. I need to find out because I've got a little bit of a mechanic inside of me. I'm mechanically, disingenuous right now with the damn fingers. A long time ago as a kid, I was playing with Legos. If we had the mechanical stuff, it was well too expensive for my mother, but I could try building outlying shapes of what I would think and understand and build these weird ass concoctions and make pictures out of them. Because I too had a dream of building stuff, but trying to put it into a story format to explain that to the public. I needed more practice during those days. If I had the numbers crunching in my head, I would have been a Tony Stark. I would like to have been Tony Stark. If there was a superhero to emulate, I would have been a man in a space can. I would have been a man in a powered suit. That would have been my one of my favorite characters. That or Batman. Not fighting style, being able to afford the cool toys that he had been able to use. Being able to use technology like that. That's who I would have been like to do and be as a kid. Because it fascinated me. And then talking about in that kind of a spirit here of dreaming, of mechanics, of building something. And they do take money. It takes processing. It takes a lot of raw material to do so. How do you conceive of a base on the moon? You have to think about the mechanics of everything applied. And I mean things that you hadn't even thought of. You got to think these things through. Materials that you're going to be needing, the technological steps you're going to be needing to make, the mistakes you're going to be doing left and right. There's going to be teaching mistakes, but they're going to be costly in a way, and you still have to do the workarounds around them. You have to constantly think of this stuff, how to get past these things. You just can't willy dream this shit up. But you have to be a human adventurer. You have to be adventurous about it. He still has the adventure in his heart. Everything else going on around us, he's got an adventure in his heart. I'm not knocking that shit out of him. No. That's what makes him and him. He's got the ideas for it. He's just got a lousy way of implementing them. And then I look at the cold reality that we have right now as it is. We don't have that many dreamers. And if we did, we got people trying to profit and leech off of them. And it pisses me off concerning about the leeches at this point over here. Kicking people out of a damn sovereign land because you got the greedy developers looking, money coming out of that thing. A sovereign country dealing with two sovereign people having civil war constantly. And then you have a desperate gamble of sorts, causing a hell of a lot of uproar throughout the world. Coming back down to this land that had been torn apart for thousands and thousands of years, prophesized many times in different languages, many times in many places, in many ways. It's supposed to be the holiest land, or one of them. We can't even treat it as such. No. Because resources they have over there is precious enough. That's going to be blasted to hell. Landscape that looks like, well, this is a nice view of the beaches. Isn't that wonderful? I could put motels up here. I could put hotels up here. I could put real estate. I can make thousands of jobs. It'll be wonderful. No, he's looking for the damn payback at this point. That's President Gasbag looking for payback. He wants to put U.S. forces. He had the notion, and therefore, right next to Netanyahu, he's putting that option over there. He's getting some people laughing at him. He's got other people pissed off at him. Now, what does the community say if they're going to be dying for that kind of real estate, all for the name of Trump? Can I even convince these dumbasses, I call them a town, of Roseman, California, stupidity that they just voted into office, and the insanity that they want? Is this what the hell they want? Oh my God, I tried to get into a conversation with them about this. And what I got back from the keyboard warriors is they're that dumb. They don't care. Immigration, they don't give a shit. Say, get them out of here, get them out of here, get them out of here. Get the brown people out of here. Get the different people. We got brown people living over here that are residents, that are natives. What do you think would happen if the Native Americans finally decided to get off their dead asses and challenge the United States government? In every state, have the people out there saying, we've had enough of your ass. Get out of our land. We would have the same situation like we have with Israel. Or actually the Israelis would have with the Palestinians. And the thing of it is, Palestine was already there as a country in itself, with a couple of other territories mixed into it. And the United Nations felt sorry for the Jewish people and created the land. Still administered by other people until the Israeli government can actually get itself going and become the biggest tick turds around and in the region. Am I rooting for the Palestinians? They had their own land. The Jewish nation wasn't a Jewish nation. It was only the Jewish race. Europeans, Middle East, American. I try not to hold it against the people. Yeah, they've been suffering long enough. It would have been nice if they actually had their own damn country. But every piece of earth had already been claimed already. And somebody had to give up sovereign land. So in 1947, the United Nations did that shit. I thought it was going to be a gesture or something like that. We didn't even realize at the time. We didn't have the foresight at the time of having Middle East crises left and right happening in that area. We didn't. There's no way for us to know the future. We only know what's happening right now, and we're already governed by what things happened in the past. That brings us into the present. Now, how we're going to be dealing with the future is a different story altogether, and how we deal with the present. History, 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 but nobody ever pays attention or bothers. So no wonder we're going crazy at this point. No wonder I can't get any views on live. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll do it this way. And if I put it out there for premiere, nobody watches the damn shit. Oh well, I'll put it out there anyway. It's not for their case, it's for mine. And originally when I made this channel, it was for me. Now, I think I got a voice. Maybe I become this podcaster that people keep trying to do all the damn time. Said, I got a podcaster. I want to feel my ego here. I just want to tell you what's going on so I can feel my ego. Yeah, well, bite me on that shit. I'm pissed off. I'm lending my voice to the world. And I'm telling you what the things I like and the things I don't like. And what I don't like is elected gas bag and unelected douchebags think that they're making the world safer by screwing our government up in the United States. This is what I see. This is what I'm observing. And this is what I'm reporting. You don't like it? Go fuck yourselves. This is what's happening. I am not holding back when it comes down for that kind of language or physical articulation of, it's like, I'm putting up the hand. Don't talk to me about it. Yeah, you'll talk to me about it, asshole. Be a while. Fuck yourself. You're messing around with things that you don't understand. You want to have talk? You want to have discussion? We'll do that. You just want to bitch and gripe? Bring it on, assholes. Bring it on.